elementary staff are here this morning. Some of them are starting at 8 o'clock, I know, with some conferences already. So I'm going to stay up here while I'm talking so I can have my mask off so you can see that I actually am smiling. And I'm excited to see all of you here today and to kick off the 2021 school year. We're going to start with introductions. I think all of you should know, unless you're a new coach, Janice, who I work with in the activities office. I couldn't survive without Janice. Janice, stand up. Let's give her a round of applause. All right, and our new middle school AD, who I'm excited to work with. I've been working with her for about a month now, Bonnie Small. And Bonnie, stand up. Let's give her a round of applause. Bonnie works with Lori Pippert over at the middle school. Here's Lori, stand up. Thank you, Lori. A couple other people I wanted to point out today for new coaches. Sometimes when you come see me and you're trying to do something in the off season, I say, hey, it's important that you contact community ed. Brendan LeBeau, I think I saw him walk in. Where are you at? There's Brendan. Let's give him a round of applause. So now you have a face with the mask that you can at least picture if you haven't met Brendan before. And Ricky Cotamuto, is Ricky here? Okay, Ricky has started working in our weight room, training our athletes. Yep, give Ricky a round of applause. We recently sent out an email to all the head coaches for Ricky. He's paid through the activities office to work an hour and 15 minutes Monday through Thursday here as we start the school year. But then he's also looking to train athletes through community ed and on his own to make some money as a personal trainer. He does an outstanding job. He's been working with our athletes this summer. So don't hesitate to reach out to him, or if you have questions, you can certainly reach out to me as well. So thanks for being here, Ricky. Practice times this year. Had lots of coaches ask what that's going to look like. If we're in the hybrid schedule like we're starting the school year, starting at 2 o'clock is an option that we can do, especially at the middle school. We're encouraging that. The principals are on board, so you can start just like last year. Our day ended at 2:40. We started at 3. Okay, so we can start earlier. Now, we have coaches that are not teachers, so it might not work for some programs to do that, and they might have to start later. Okay, and then I will work with them to find out where we can put our athletes, if they're going to stay at school or if they're going to go home. We'll work out those details when it's your season. Okay, and Bonnie will do the same over at the middle school. For in a normal schedule, it would be like I said last year, we started at 3 o'clock with practices. And the high school league this year, if we get forced into distance learning because our COVID numbers are high enough where we need to stay at home, then the only practices you can have if you're in season are virtual. You cannot practice, we cannot compete. So basically we're shut down other than having contact with our athletes. Okay, transportation numbers. Okay, cross country we had 3 buses instead of 2 this year. We can have, if we're in hybrid, 38 is a number on a 77 passenger bus. If you need a little bit more room, we can get a 90 passenger bus and have it for 45. Okay, or we just get a second bus or a third bus, whatever we need to do. My plan this year to keep our kids safe is to shuttle as often as possible. So right now what we're doing for soccer, we are sending the JV kids first, coming back and getting the varsity kids. Then we're picking up JV as soon as they're done and bringing them home so they're not sitting around. One of the biggest problems we're having is kids just hanging out, sitting by each other, watching. Our first girls soccer game, I tried to break up the boys that were watching 3 different times because they always want to sit shoulder to shoulder. And we can't have that this year. So that's going to be one of my biggest challenges, keeping people socially distanced. So that's how we're going to handle transportation. If we are in school full capacity, then we're normal on the bus as well. Everyone will have a mask on the bus this year. Registration. It's been a challenge for Janice at the high school, Lori over at the middle school. We started a new program called the Infinite Campus for registration. Now it's working for families to pay online, and they can fill out the forms, but unfortunately right now it's not compatible. So the forms aren't being sent to Janice. So families have to print those off. So you might get some questions. They have to print them off and bring them into Janice just like they did years ago. Anything you guys want me to add on registration? Yeah, she said update in November, so we're hoping at some point this year they become compatible. And that's for all of our programs. They're signing up for fine arts as well. Okay, something new this year. Oh, one other thing I forgot. Janice will pass out the sports passes as soon as the athletes register. She started to do that right now, so she'll be getting those to the head coaches to pass out for the sports that are in season right now. Fall approved training sessions, something totally new. Okay, everyone here should know football and volleyball has been moved to March. They've been moved to March, but they will have up to 3 weeks of practice here. Starting September 14th through October 3rd, they get 12 practices. Okay, and then our spring sports would start on that Monday, October 5th through the 24th. Same thing, they can have 12 practices. When they're practicing, there is no jamborees, no scrimmages. You can't contact other schools to scrimmage, to set up a game. It's for practice only. And then as a school district, we are going to pay 20% of your contract for working this fall. So we're looking at it as it's part of our season. We will have our athletes register, and that'll be the first part of your season. Kind of like the NFL when they do the spring training or whatever, before they come back for the fall season. So we will have 12 practices. Any questions on that? I know it's totally new and we've never done it before. Okay? How am I doing on my slides, Lou?
We're good. Bridge is up here helping me. We're good.
All right, perfect. Thanks, Bridge. All right, COVID. Each sport will have your own guidelines. I've been sending those out to the head coaches. Hopefully they're sharing them with the assistant coaches. Middle school coaches, you should notify Bonnie and touch base with your high school coaches. Whenever you have someone that tests positive for COVID, we've had a couple this year already. If you're in the high school program, make sure that you let me know, and then I will take it from there. Okay, middle school, let Bonnie know, and she will take it from there. Okay, I'm working closely with Monica here, our school nurse at the high school, and we are contacting families, and there's different things that we need to find out, and then we contact the Department of Health, and then we'll notify the rest of the team. Okay, so there's certain questions that they ask, and one of them is, were they within 6 feet of someone for 15 straight minutes? And we have to answer no to that. If we answer yes, anyone who was within 6 feet for 15 minutes is also out. And that's how we'll get shut down. There's a big high school in the cities that has already had to shut down soccer for 2 weeks because of this. Okay, so when we say it's important to social distance, we mean it. And I know you don't want to police that, but we have to. When I walk around, I remind them when I see them at practice. As coaches, you need to remind them all the time to spread out. When they come, they need to spread out with their bags. They shouldn't be sitting by each other, 6 feet or more apart. If we can't answer that no one was in there, then multiple people are out, and pretty soon we're shut down. There's different criteria if they test negative. One thing I want to point out, if they're sick, obviously, just like school, they need to stay home. Let them know it's okay if they miss practice. If they take a test, they stay home until the results are back. Okay, so you can't go take a test and hope you're negative and come until you find out you're positive. If they feel they're sick and they're going to take a test, they need to stay home. Same as school, same as sports. Now, if it comes back negative, I had to answer these questions last week. If it comes back negative, they're going to ask, were they exposed to someone that was positive? Hopefully not, and then they can come back. Anyone in their family that could possibly have COVID. Okay, so there's different criteria, and everything is not going to be the same. It's not always black and white. We have to ask questions, get the details, and then they will inform me what is going to happen. And then I will keep you updated along with your families. I'm definitely not a COVID expert, but I'm learning on the fly here. So please be patient, and be patient with Monica, our school nurse, and with Courtney. Courtney wants to know too, and be updated with what is going on. We've had 2 COVID athletes, 2 test positives so far this fall. Okay, locker rooms. Hopefully come changed. And what I mean by that is if they can come to school with what they're going to wear to practice, that would be great. We're trying to limit exposure. We want to keep people out of the locker rooms as much as we can. We know we can't always do that, but we'd like to do it to the best of our ability. Okay, Mr. Carr and Mrs. Hanson here at the high school have told me they are not going to be issuing student lockers. So for our soccer players, for example, if they're coming to school, they need to put their stuff somewhere for practice. We're asking the older players to keep their stuff in their car if they can, if they drove to school. Otherwise, they can go down to the locker room and put stuff in there. After school, we know we have to provide an opportunity for them to change if they need to, if they didn't come with what they're going to wear to practice. But we need to remind them to socially distance when they're in there, and then our custodians need to disinfect the locker room if they're in there. So we need to know that it's being used so they know they have to clean that each day. Okay? So communicate with me what your program plans to do, if they're going to be using that or not. We're asking them after practice to just go home. So to bring their stuff with them out to your practice, to limit the amount of time they are in the school and in the locker room. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay, so they should get in there and out of there as quickly as possible. Okay, when some of the sports start that have equipment, like football, for example, we know our 9th grade football players are going to have to store their stuff in the locker room. Okay, and then they'll probably have to come back in after practice. But for the sports that do not have equipment that needs to stay in the school, we'd like them to bring their stuff home and to not have a permanent locker in there. The custodians are using some chemicals that they want to spray in there to disinfect it every night, and we want to limit it getting on some of the kids' items, if that makes sense. So it's safer to bring it home, keep their stuff at home. Hopefully nothing gets bleached or anything like that with the chemicals, but we'd rather have the lockers empty, spray them down that way. That's what the custodial staff is recommending. Okay, if you have questions on that too, you can see me after the meeting. Updates on the Mississippi 8 Conference, we're still the same, 8 schools. Last year we did this, Mississippi 8 passes for coaches. Join the Coaches Association. We've gone away with the conference pass. I have a few, but not enough to give one to everyone. Mr. Olson put this into effect last year. High school coaches' families, because high school coaches we charge admission at our high school varsity events. But if you're coaching, so for example, if you're a volleyball coach and we have a home match, family members get in for free for all the coaches. Just need to get the list to Janice so she can give it to the ticket person so we know who is getting in. That's your immediate family, so your spouse and your children. It's not aunt, uncle, brother, sister, grandparents. It's the immediate family. The principal has asked me to share teacher-staff meetings. I know there's a middle school meeting right after this. Those trump activities. You're supposed to be at all of your staff meetings. That went into effect last year. If you have a practice, your other coaches can help cover until you can get there, or you need to move your practice back. But all teachers are expected to be at their school staff meetings this year. Minnesota State High School League. I am on meetings every week. All 80s across the state they're doing a great job communicating with us. But obviously, we're in some pretty challenging times right now, and it's new for all of us. I also happen to be on the board of directors, and Bonnie just got off. She served a 4-year term as well. And we don't have all the answers. And we are working through things, and everyone just needs to be patient. We still haven't decided what's going to happen with fall sports. We have 6 sports competing right now, and I want to thank our coaching staffs for being flexible and being patient, because we don't even know if we're going to have a culminating activity. Okay? I'm also the region chair for AAA. I set up the section playoffs. We haven't made any decisions yet because we have to wait and see what happens with COVID. When we start school, are the numbers going to spike or are they going to stay down? You know, what's going to happen? And once we get a better handle on that, we can make some decisions. But one thing they did do, they did set that the culminating experience is only going to be a 2-week experience this year. All the seasons have been shortened. Okay? So, winter sports, we have no idea when you're going to start yet. Are we going to start in November? If cases stay down, we probably will get started in November. If they spike, we're probably looking at after January 1st. Kind of like what the colleges are doing. So I know some of you are anxious trying to find out. When I have answers, I'll let you know. But in my world, things change daily. For sure weekly, but often daily. Okay, so we do not know. Football coaches, you know, we're looking at possibly starting in March. Okay, and some of you that are here that coach football, you probably know, there's some petitions going around that they're unhappy. They want more answers from the high school league. You're like every other sport. We don't have answers right now. We're not sure what's going to happen, what the number is when your sport gets shut down. We're not sure what any postseason play is going to look like. So everyone needs to be patient. We might not have any postseason play this year, but darn it, at least we're playing. We have to try to stay positive to support our athletes. The CERs are new this year from the high school league. The high school league website's new. It's like everything's hitting us at once. Janice has come back and her head's been spinning, my head's been spinning. Registration's new, the high school league website's new. We're dealing with COVID, our seasons are new. It's been challenging, just like it is for those of you that are coming back to the classroom. So like I said, please be patient. The website for the high school league, you need to go in and set up a new account. I need to approve you, and then you can get started. Everyone needs to do the concussion piece, and then there's an all-sport CER piece, and then some of the rules meetings are ready for sports, some are not yet, so you'll just need to check back on that. But for your sport, like soccer that has started, you should have 3 CERs that are done at this time. Again, I always remind you on transfer students, make sure that if you have somebody new, somebody's coming into our building, a foreign exchange student, let me know so we can make sure that they are eligible. Schedules, I haven't even checked. Let's see, I know Nathan Budish is here. Is our soccer schedule posted on the high school league website, Coach Budish? Okay, so I'm not sure yet if they're showing schedules yet. Eventually they will. I know that officials can get a hold of me because they're checking in, so that's going really well so far. We're off to a good start with that. One thing that's helped, and I'll just share, with not having football on Friday nights, it's opened up another night for soccer. And we've been able to spread soccer out Monday through Friday, and we have not had an official shortage. So that is one positive thing, because we went into the year thinking we would be short on officials, and so far they've covered everything. For those of you that are not teachers, annually you need to do your state requirements. Teachers, you typically do them through the school district, and your school principal supervises that. But for everyone else, make sure you're filling out the requirements. We've got the mandated reporter, bloodborne pathogens, the bully prevention training, and it's all located on the school district website. Mr. Carter, do you know, is that up for this school year yet? Okay, so if it's not up, does anyone know? Is it up yet for staff, Tammy? Okay, it is up, so you should be able to get on there and to complete that. So please do that as soon as you are able. A couple of fundraising items. I talked to Jason Kistner this week because of the short seasons. You know, we just I had to rebuild the soccer schedule, tennis, and all the sports that are competing right now. Just rebuilt those schedules 2 weeks ago. I'll have to rebuild all of the winter sports schedules. So as of right now, we are not doing fall sports calendars. Pretty good chance we probably won't have a winter sports calendar because by the time I get it built and by the time they turn around and do it, the season's already half over. All of us are looking at a shortened season, shorter contest this year due to COVID. Programs. In the past, we've done a program for basketball, hockey, football. At this time, we'll not be doing that through the activities office as well. I'm meeting with Jimmy John's this afternoon. They would like to continue their partnership with us, so hopefully we can come to an agreement today when I meet with them. All fall sports, including volleyball and football, they will be selling the Magic cards starting on, we're going to do that kickoff on Monday, September 14th. And I'll reach out to those coaches next week to give them the details. We've got a nice online app that we can use to really cut down on the door-to-door, and I think it'll help with sales. So those 8 programs will be selling the Magic card like previous years. Communication, it's going to be huge this year like it is every year. But if you have an issue, if you're a high school coach, I think everyone has my cell phone. You can call me at any time. I'm always checking my phone. Don't feel like you're bothering me if it's 10 at night. Give me a call. I'm usually up till about 11. As Mr. Carr says, I typically don't get up until about 10 in the morning. At least that's what he teases me, that I get up at about 10. Not true, but that's what the high school office likes to give me crap about. But let me know if you have an issue. Same with Bonnie at the middle school. Okay, we want to hear from you first before we get a call from a parent. I always remind you to be careful on social media, what you're putting out there. Okay, you might think you're representing yourself, but if you're one of our coaches and you put something out there, say maybe you're disagreeing with the school's decision or the high school league's decision, just be careful, because you are representing the activities office if you're coaching for us, and you're representing our school district. I always remind you to only text athletes information on practices, games, if something changes, a bus time, that type of thing. Nothing personal, okay? It's only a business text to let them know if there's a change. Or if you're using the Remind app, you know, put practice details on there, bus details, that's it. Stay professional. If you're receiving texts from athletes or from parents reaching out because they got your number, not appropriate, and you can let them know that. If you need me to get involved, let me know. Okay, they definitely shouldn't be texting you. If it's a question about a bus time, that's fine. But if they're already asking about playing time, not okay. We've had one boys' soccer game, and already had a parent call upset that their son didn't get in on the first game. Okay, and I told him that your son needs to talk to the coach. Follow the proper line of communication. Okay, promoting middle school athletes. Bonnie has the form at the middle school, or you can get one from me, but we typically like to start with Bonnie if we're going to promote someone. And our policy as a school district is that they're going to start on the JV, or at least contribute on varsity if we're going to move them up. We're not moving up middle school kids to 9th grade unless we're short on numbers. We're doing something unique this year. for football at the middle school level. We're not having it in the fall. We decided not to have it in the spring. And our numbers have been down a little bit in the high school program, so we decided to let our 8th graders, if the parents feel they're ready, to come up and play. So our football this year is going to be 8 through 12 because we do not have it something we're offering at the middle school. We are working with Brendan and Community Ed and offering flag football for 7th and 8th grade. So they have an opportunity to play flag, or they can come up if the parents feel they're ready for tackle football. And several of our programs, as you guys are aware, are 7 through 12 already. Courtney couldn't be here this morning. She wanted me to share a couple things with the training room. Move it over here, Bridge. Because of COVID, she wanted me to remind all of you to tell your athletes there's no hanging out in there. No ice use for water. Okay, for staff, I know some of you come down and want to get ice for your water bottles during the day. We can't do that. We can't use ice for water. Athletes need to bring their own water. You must have a mask on if you're in her room. And I know some of you are FIA teachers in the high school that are here right now. If someone gets hurt in FIA, we need to send them to the nurse's office. We can't open up the activities training room. The reason we can't is we're disinfecting that every night, and when she comes in the afternoon, she's assuming everything has been disinfected. Okay, so we can't open that up to get items during the day. Okay, work with the school nurse for your ice and things like that. Okay, shirts. I know some of you are here early, so we started passing them out. These shirts are something, we do a golf tournament we put on every summer, and some of you played in that, some of you helped there, and I really appreciate that. We raised around $20,000 again. $4,000 of that goes back to seniors when they graduate for awards night. And we give 4 $1,000 scholarships annually, and we're very proud of that. Okay, about 7,000 of that went into these shirts. These are Nike authentic sideline shirts that you have to order in September, and you get them in August. And they're the shirts that you see on the sidelines if college sports are taking place or professional sports. Last year, that's why I wore this, we gave out this quarter zip. I was very proud that it was very well received, and a lot of our programs wore these shirts. So I didn't want to do another quarter zip again this year, so it's a similar material. It's a long sleeve shirt that I think hopefully all of you will like, and you'll be able to wear to school, wear it when you're coaching, at practice games, etc. So hopefully you'll like that item as well as the one last year. And I will be picking out something for next year here very shortly. I'll probably go back to a quarter zip again or something. I know a sweatshirt a couple years ago was really popular too. Other things I'm doing to try to be a little creative here as I'm getting older. For the fall coaches, okay, we have a contract with Nike and BSN, so we do get some free apparel. So the fall coaches, I ordered a really cool lightweight jacket that's supposed to be wind and water resistant since they're outside. So those coaches have that jacket right now. Winter coaches, if you've got an idea of something that you would like, something nice and equal in value, we're looking at about $100 a piece. So I think it'll be something you'll like. See me, I figured a light jacket wouldn't work, but we can get something cool for the winter coaches, and then spring coaches will do something as well. So instead of doing the same thing for everyone, I kind of went by season as well. So you will also get another item when you're coaching this year. That's a lot. It's as fast as I can talk here in 30 minutes. I bet you have some questions. I know middle school has to go, but we do have 5-10 minutes here for questions. I'll just add again, I appreciate everyone being patient. Definitely appreciate you coaching. I love working with all you guys. And we're going to get through this together. It's going to be challenging, but we're going to get through this together. And I'm very proud of our school district and the steps that we are taking. So just want you all to know that. And I know every sport has individual needs and concerns, and that's why my door is open. Come in and see me be an advocate for your sport. Best part of my day is talking to the coaches. Questions? Well, if there's no questions, if you want to talk to me on the side, I'll be up here. I'm actually heading to Minnetonka in a few minutes to look at some turf for our softball batting cages that we just put in. And we're constantly trying to upgrade our facilities to have the best possible facilities for high school sports. So thanks for being here. Have a great year. Thanks for being a coach. Thanks for being an advisor. Let's have a great school year.